may work, it may not. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. So we're talking about time management, and as a recap, one of the concepts that I want you guys to walk away with is you got to plan the week before the week begins. Just like you're going to plan your money before you start spending your money, I'm going to ask that you write down on paper what you should spend your time and energy on before the week begins. So we are allotted with this 40 hours of our work week. And when I look at each one of your stores, you guys are in different stages. So we got Ricky in Jonesboro. He's built a team. They're getting trained. And he's moving into the category of ready to do some marketing, ready to do some more training, start to really get down deep in how to get more people in his store, right? Now, you're at Poplar 2. You're in building your team category. There's a lot of training. So there's a lot of things that will fit in your world that will help you win. Jackson, you may be in team building mode, so recruiting is a piece of your puzzle. But I will tell you, as the leader of your store, you will never get ahead without a team. And if you don't have a team, that's what you spend your time on. If you have a team, training is where you spend your time on, in marketing and those types of things. But I want to unpack each one of those, and I welcome you to challenge anything I have to say, and challenge that you either take notes, or I don't know how you're gonna, if you're not taking notes, how this is going to change your work life if you're not writing down what your intention is, what we're going to do, tomorrow or whatnot. And again, all I can do is offer suggestions. And I can say, hey, this is what I would do if I were you. And everyone has their own path. And you've been hired because you have some experience. And we support your own journey through this. The worst thing you can do is to not take a journey. So if you don't like what I say and you don't do that, but you do something else and it yields good results, that's great. If you don't like what I say and you just don't do anything, then that's not a fit. So this is better than nothing. And this is just from my own experience. So when I say from my own experience, I have worked the store. And I've done everything that a store manager, a phone technician, a store salesperson have done. I've done all those things. In fact, when I started selling from the gas station. And I was the only employee at that store selling Nextel at the time. And I had to talk to strangers. And it was first things first, and that is get sales before I could even get a team. Now, you guys are working a little bit differently. The most important thing of a store manager's day is, do you have a team? Because you can't do it by yourself. The difference between you winning and losing each and every day stands by your team. Your team is what is going to make you win or lose. If you have a team that isn't aggressive, doesn't have the hustle, doesn't have the muscle, doesn't want to see the store win, then you quickly know where your time should be spent. So if you're sitting there right now thinking, I don't have a strong enough team, then recruiting is where you should spend the bulk of your time. Recruiting is where you should spend the bulk of your time. And how much is a bulk? I would venture to say that at least any moment that I did not have to be with a customer or with an employee training them, I would spend that time doing that thing. And if it were me and I was a store manager, and let's say for a moment, I have someone in my store that is maybe not the team player. He's not willing, or she's not willing to market, won't hardly stand and greet a customer, maybe have checked out. I may find tasks for them that I would, as a store manager, have to do normally. I would try to give to them. Now, I'm not saying you give them cash to take to the bank, because they may never come back. But I'm saying if there's an operational task for the store, it's better than them sitting there playing Angry Birds all day, because your time and energy's got to be spent recruiting. So we all know we got to do certain things, whether it's give backs or different little projects operationally that our store has to do each and every day. Give that to someone to do so you can allot that time for the recruiting. Now the recruiting is critical, because why in the world does Smyrna do so well? They have a rock star salesperson. And what does it take to get a rock star salesperson? It takes recruiting. It does take some work. But our compensation structure highly incentivizes high performance salespeople more than any other dealer and any other wireless store in the country. We pay top dollar for those people to exist. We are the only ones that base our hourly rate of pay based on the number of sales. So again, as a reminder, if you want to make $14, $15, $16, $17, $18 an hour as a salesperson, that opportunity exists. Now, I often hear people that get frustrated because they'll go, well, it is not fair that the salesperson can make more than me. No, it's absolutely fair. That's life. Salespeople always make more money than people in management, high performance people. So remember that. This opportunity for this high performance salesperson, they are out there, they are greeting and working in a store right next to your location, and they need to know that there's a better way and they can come and sell for you. Now, there's a path for a person to become a high performance salesperson. There is not a reason that someone that you don't have currently in your store could not be this high performance salesperson. We all have that ability. This is not a thing that you were just naturally born with, and they're just naturally, there's a lot of people that are just good with people, but it is something that people can learn if they're willing. And that's one of the things I talk about during our new hire class, is if you have not gone to a new hire class with Quay on how to win, please plug me in. Please make sure you get on that. Whether you reach out to Quay and say, when's the next class? I missed the last one. Get involved in that and bring a pen and paper and take all these notes, because the power is within you to become this high performance salesperson. And we can do this. We can do this. Now, it doesn't happen overnight, but I'm going to tell you some of the very, very basics when you start recruiting. Number one, the phrase that you use when you recruit is important. I never go and talk to a prospect, in the prospective salesperson, and say to them, oh, you would be great selling Sprint. No, that doesn't seem to work. I've tried it over and over. But when I use phrasing like, listen, you seem super smart. You've got to know a lot of smart people that would make great salespeople for my store. We're paying up to $18 an hour plus commission to sell wireless, and you got to know someone that would be interested in selling wireless. What happens to that prospect when they hear that? They think to themselves, well, why not me? Why not me? People like to, number one, be told that they're smart. But when you go after them directly and say, hey, work for me, they put themselves on this mountain on the very top. And suddenly you've put them like they're better than everyone else, and oh, they want me, and I'm going to make them work real hard to get me. But when you separate it and say people like you, and you're not targeting them, they're going to always want to say to themselves, well, why not me? Why will you not pick me? There's an old strategy that guys, you may have heard this in the past. Like if you find a very attractive girl you want to ask on a date, you never ask her directly. You always make it like, hey, I just want to be friends with you. You seem like I could never date you. We could just only be friends. And suddenly she's thinking, why won't you date me? And they're thinking something's wrong with them. It's the same thing with with recruiting, it does work. You have to make sure that you recruit in an indirect way, and it does work. Now, some of you could say, well, I'm not good at talking to strangers. I'm not good at talking to a waitress or a waiter in a restaurant about recruiting. You're going to have to get over that if you're going to be successful. The best recruiting is done by a store manager. Now, that isn't the best method for recruiting, because honestly, the best method for recruiting is if you have a top salesperson in your team, to get them to recruit people that are like them. Great people have great people around them. We're made up of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with. And if you have a top seller, they're usually in a circle of great people, period. But if you have a woe is me, victim mentality type employee, and you have them do your recruiting, you're going to find that you have the same type of person that will come in. And so you have to maybe not encourage many referrals from underperformers, because typically an underperformer is in an underperforming group. That's the way life is. Some people surround themselves with great people and they stay strong and they start winning, or they surround themselves with weak people. The beauty of life is you can exit that chapter of your life and move to a new chapter and have new friends. It's always possible. I've seen people make amazing change in my life, including myself, by changing our mindset and changing who we spend our time with. But recruiting is critical, because you're not going to get your wins that you deserve until you have salespeople to sell. And that's key. So we talked a little bit about recruiting, but I will strongly urge you to spend the energy making sure great people that are in your life know that you're hiring. Whether it's a social media post or you ask friends and neighbors, the more you talk about it, the more people will talk about it for you. Every single store has a community page on Facebook. And this community page is very, very different. In Nashville, we have a thing called Hip Donaldson, Hip whatever. And some of these groups have 30,000 people in these groups. And when you go into these groups and say, hey, we got this awesome position available, we are hiring, that's a great way to start a conversation. I always love to get people saying they're interested in hiring from Facebook, because the first thing I look at is their profile image. Here's something crazy, and you guys aren't going to believe this, but if you don't believe it, go look at RQ4. Take your top salespeople in the scorecard report and then look them up in the HR report. You're going to notice their facial image that we put as their profile image. You can tell. I can take people that I don't even know and determine whether or not they're good salespeople by just their profile image. It's uncanny. It's really amazing. Hot, good selling salespeople. When I say hot, I mean they're not hot like physically attractive. When I say hot, I'm talking about they're killer salespeople. When I look at their images include a smile. That's how simple it is. I could literally look at images of people and go, that smile is someone who can relate to people, and that smile is getting them business. Now, when they throw up that duck face or whatever like that, and that's a profile image, there is a correlation between duck face and no sales. There is. It's just a fact. So when you post on that job board in your town and say, listen, the Sprint store is hiring, I'm looking for great people, and you start interacting with someone and you look at their image is the indicator. How many friends do they have? Are they positive in their posts? Or are they, everything is out to get me? The world is against me. Or they got, a picture of them with an Uzi. Okay, we don't want those kind of people, right? There's so much more that I can see on a social media profile than I can on a resume. Okay? Now, when you look at your resume, what do you care about when you look at a resume? What do you guys care about?
Say it again, Robert.
What do you care about when you look at a resume?
Oh, what do you care about? I mean, the first thing, how it's built. I mean, how it's built.
Hey, you're gonna have to repeat anything you say because that room is such a big room. The microphone didn't pick up anything, so you're gonna have to repeat whatever someone said.
So somebody said time experience.
Okay, yeah, time on the job. I'm glad you said that because that's my number one thing I go to. Hell, I don't care if you worked at McDonald's. I don't care if you worked at Walmart. But if you've been there a long time, at least I can see that you can show up to work on time and not get fired. Because most of these places will not let you go. They will let you go when you don't showing up to work. I don't all that care too much about how many jobs you've had because that scares me. That means you have lack of commitment. You can never be good at something in 3-month jaunts. I've never seen it happen. It takes a while to build this skill. You know, it takes a while to get up to this point where we can relate to people. And the beauty of what we do inside of our stores is being able to relate to strangers that walk in. And your opportunity to close relies on one single thing, and that is the 4-step process in a store greeting. You greet at the door, get off your fanny, walk in front of up to the front of the door and greet someone with eye contact. It's so meaningful when you look at someone in the eye and you greet them and you stand for them and you show them respect. They will pay you handsomely by buying whatever you're going to sell. But the rapport building process is 4 steps. Number 1 is you greet at the door. Number 2, you do name exchange. We love to hear our names. Hi, welcome to Sprint. My name is Robert. How can I help you? I'm here to do a bill payment. Awesome. First things first. Again, my name is Robert. What was your name? Julie. Awesome, Julie. Good to meet you. You've come to the right spot. Again, I'm going to say my name again because a lot of people will want to forget it. My name is Robert, and I'm going to be your new Sprint guy. So if you ever need anything with Sprint, you're going to come to me, okay? Cool? All right, walk over here and let me get you set up and process to get that bill payment going. Oh, by the way, Julie, I've been authorized to give you $500 as part of the Sprint referral program. Now, all that is basically you get $50 per person that you refer to me. So, Julie, do you work nearby? Julie, anything you say to Julie, include her name. It's so important. We love our names. Whenever someone walks out of the door without a Sprint bag, I want you to go back to the tapes and play back why they walked out with a Sprint bag, without a Sprint bag. And 9 times out of 10, not enough rapport was built. And that's something a good store manager can coach a team on, can work on. If you just did this one thing, team, follow the 4 steps in greeting with the existing staff that you have each and every time, you're going to improve your close ratio by 25%. By just greeting at the door, name exchange, talking about the referral program, and last but not least, talking about a free tablet. There's the 4 things. Make sure you have that written down, because if that's all you did and you just improved on that, so let's walk for a second and think I'm a store manager, I'm working in your store, you work for me. Customer walks out the door. My job as store manager is this. I got a pen and I got my steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay? Did they greet at the door? Check. Did they do name exchange? Check. Did they talk about the referral program? I'm going to do a check. And did they talk about the tablets? When that customer leaves, I'm going to go over and say, hey, John, man, I appreciate it. We did some role play earlier and talked about the 4-step greeting. You did every single one of those, and I want to say thank you very much. You did exactly what I asked. Now, I'm going to ask you one other favor, though. I want you to try to slow down your conversation with them and try to build more rapport and spend more time in that name exchange place. Because a lot of times what people will do is they'll do name exchange one time, but they won't stir the pot with the name exchange. They won't really work it, because that is how you get an amazing meal, when you spend time preparing it. And when you have an opportunity to make a sale, it's like making a menu item in a fancy restaurant. There's a way you make it. And if you skip some steps, you don't spend enough time stirring it, or you don't use the right ingredients, it just don't taste right. And you want it to taste the same way each and every time. But that takes a good store manager coaching. And when you keep coaching and looking at it like you're playing a ball game, and at the end of every play, you're going to watch the replay, and you're going to work with your team. Guys, here's a replay. This is what happened. Why are we going through this? Because I want you to be a better player. If I make you a better player and you make more plays and you make more money, are you upset with me? I don't believe you will be. A good store manager that gets obsessed with the store greeting is always going to win. Unfortunately, guys, I got 7 minutes, and I'm going to kind of run through this. So make sure you do that 4-step greeting. That is critical. Now, one of the games I talk about salespeople that they don't do enough, and I have watched our brand new store in Gallatin Pike. They follow this method. It is working. They're getting sales. They're not in the best location in the world, but they're getting sales. But they're thinking with a multiplication mindset, not an addition. Okay? If you think like this, you add a couple of upgrades and activations here and there. But if you think differently, you need to do a multiplication mindset. Why would you think about adding and getting a couple of lines of service every single day instead of thinking, I need to hire salespeople to sell these phones instead of me? Your salespeople need to be looked on as sales managers. And if they're looked on as sales manager and thought of and think about being a sales manager, the way they sell is completely different. This is how it works. My mission isn't to sell a box today, or 2 or 3 or 4. My mission is to recruit a salesperson that is going to sell 10 boxes for me. I want to let that sink in for a minute. Every sale should equal 3 more sales. Every sale should equal 3 more sales. You have a referral program that you can leverage to get more boxes sold. I could literally take our top 10 salespeople and put them in a store that has no sign, that has no windows, that no one even knows that there's a Sprint store there, and they would sell the same amount of devices because they are focused on their referral program, and that's how they get their business. A mindset is multiplication, not addition. It's a change in mindset. And once you have that change in mindset, your store goes from selling 40 boxes to 140 boxes overnight. This can change your store today. Literally, an obsession with the referral program will change it. Now, getting referrals takes planting a seed, putting soil in the pot, and giving it water, giving it sunlight. And when eventually grows is something that yields fruit. You can't talk about the referral program in the first 3 minutes of a conversation and expect to get referrals from that customer. It will never happen. I only talk about the referral program to plant a seed. So Julie, thanks for coming in. Before I get your bill payment done, while I'm processing it, I'm going to write down this piece of paper, 1, 2, 3. While I'm getting your things processed, can you write down maybe 3 names of some people that may be interested in switching to Sprint? And oh, by the way, they get $50 for coming over to Sprint as well as you do as well. Can I get those names from you? Work that conversation. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ask about referrals, and at the end of the conversation, I'm going to actually ask you and hand you a pen and hand you a piece of paper and say, give me your referrals. It works, folks. But what works even better is when you call them the next day. Julie, thanks for coming in. I just wanted to follow up with you. I sent you an email with all my contact info. I appreciate you giving me those names. Do you have any more? And the next week I email you again. Julie, your Sprint guy again, and you got any names for me again? Keep doing this. They will start referring you. They will start referring you. Referrals don't happen on accident. It's an intentional process that a salesperson has got to get addicted to. If you want to go from, as a salesperson, driving a Kia to a Lexus, it's all in the referrals. That's it. You get referrals. How do you get referrals? You make sure people know your damn name. That's one thing. I've seen this all the time. A customer comes in and says, yeah, I'm here to see, I don't know, I can't remember the name. I know he's a tall guy, skinny guy, fat guy, black guy, white guy, Mexican guy, short guy, got a beard guy, bald guy. Like, that's not my description, right? My description is my name. And if you did name exchange well enough, they're going to know your name. But that's up to a coach. Guys, you guys are my coaches in the stores. When you guys act like a coach, guess what happens? They start looking you as a coach. And this is the way you guys have to mentally frame this. Dude, I'm your bank account coach. Like, if you listen and follow the steps I tell you, you're going to make more money. Are you cool with this? This is a free service. I'm going to let you be my coach. Do you want to sign up? Like, I pay for my own coaches. I pay money to people that are smarter than me that will hold me accountable. I am offering you guys are these coaches. I can be this coach for you. Brian can be that coach for you as well. If you ever find yourself up against the wall, can't figure out life, can't figure out how to get good at what our craft is, which is coaching our salespeople, come to us. I got experience. Brian has experience. We can help you along. The only thing deciding what your bank account is going to be is you. That's it. It doesn't even matter how lack of traffic your store has. If you got addicted to the referral program, you would not have time to do all the sales. I'm telling you, every time, I don't care if it's a bill payment or the postman walking in, I'm going to work the referral angle with those people, and that's how you're going to drive traffic to your store. Nothing else works as well as referrals. If you walk away with anything, and that is get addicted to referrals, treat your sales people as sales managers, and ask them this question every day. How many people did you add to the referral system? How many reps are selling Sprint for you? If you got 2 people a week to send you referrals, think about it. Think about it. 2 people a week. The compound interest that occurs with that referral program is mind-numbing. The opportunity is there, but you got to get engaged. Do I have any questions before I got to roll out?
I guess we're okay.
So let me just leave you with a few things, and that is, if you have a lackluster team, ask them if they want to start winning. That's it. If they want to start winning with you, you're going to help them win. If they, by their actions, don't want to greet at the door right after you've done coaching, then get addicted to recruiting new people. They're going to give you your wins. A bad salesperson in a average performing store, a bad salesperson will cost you $400 a month. So if you have someone that costs you $400 a month, ask yourself, is it time to recruit somebody new? Now, a good salesperson, when I talk about the best salesperson, will add about $1,000 a month to your income. So is it worth it for you to recruit that baller salesperson that sold you your last set of tires? That superstar person that made you smile when you ate at that last restaurant? All of those are possible, but you got to recruit good people. And then when they come aboard, you are their coach, my friends. So when nobody's in the store, you're throwing that ball to people and see who catches it. You're going to keep throwing it, keep throwing it, keep throwing it. Role play, training inside the store when there's not a customer in the store. So when there is a customer, they're ready to catch the ball or ready to throw the ball. That's the opportunity that exists. So Brian, hey, I appreciate you getting me on here with these cats, and I'm excited about what you guys will be able to do for us. And I'm always here to help out. Best way to reach me is on Marco Polo. If you ever want to chat with me, Marco Polo, you feel stuck, you're not moving forward, you need to move forward, I want to help you. Again, I am your coach. Brian is your coach. Lucas is your coach. And we all have our own coachable things that we're good at. You don't find that a professional ball team has a coach. They have coaches. I'm good at certain particular things and other things I'm not strong at. What I am strong at is recognizing good performance and getting people to get the cobwebs out and focus on what's important, and you're going to start winning. I promise. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks.
All right, see you now.